is Carrie, and today I will be sharing my Christmas budgeting process. Notice I didn't say Christmas budget, but I said Christmas budgeting process because no two budgets are alike. They are personal to you. That's why it's called personal finance. I hope this video will inspire you to love budgets just as much as I do. Well, maybe not that much. So let's get started. What is a budget? In its simplest terms, a budget is a plan. More specifically, it's a written plan expressed in numbers. Why do we budget? Well, we budget so that we can achieve our goals. But remember, before you can budget, you need to have a goal. So in this video, we're going to use an example family to build a budget and go through the budgeting process that I do each year. So meet the Gratefuls. We have I Am Grateful, who's a 17-year-old girl. We have Really Grateful, who's a 12-year-old boy. And we have Mommy Grateful and Daddy Grateful. So our family of four will be celebrating Christmas, but they will also be hosting Christmas dinner for 12 of their closest family and friends. Okay, what is the budgeting process? So in our budgeting process, we first set our goals, we gather information, we develop a preliminary budget, we reevaluate and adjust the preliminary budget to come up with a final budget, and then finally, we develop a saving strategy. So the goals for the Grateful family is to give. You're going to either give your time, money, or resources, or both, but that is a goal. They are really big on giving, and they want to make sure that that is reflected in their budget. Also, they want to create a warm and inviting home for their friends and family to enjoy. So that can include having a beautifully set home that's decorated, the smell, the music, everything. They just want the environment to be warm and inviting. And they also want to honor their Christmas traditions. And above all, they want a debt-free Christmas. And that should be a goal for everyone. Okay, so the next step after the goals is to gather your information and set your preliminary budget. What information are you gathering? Well, you're going to gather kids' Christmas lists. Have your children put together a Christmas list, and if they're old enough, I would say 9 and above, make it a more detailed Christmas list. Tell them to put prices next to the things that they want so you can know how much it's going to cost. And then also to rank their Christmas list. Put it in priority order, what's most important to them. And so that will give you enough information to actually start pulling together your budget. Also, look in your recipe binder or your Pinterest account, pull out new recipes, see what ingredients you're going to need so that you can develop a grocery list or a grocery budget and know how much you're going to be spending in the food category. Then also your gift recipients. Who are you going to be buying gifts for? What type of gifts do you have in mind? Start pulling that together so that you can make good decisions as to how much you're going to be spending on gifts. And then also assess your Christmas decor. What do I need? Do I need any more lights, or is there another room that I was trying to decorate this year for Christmas? But it's up to you. It's your budget. It's your budget. So assess what you need. Now, as a side note, I tried to do some research to see what the average family spends on Christmas, but the only thing I was able to find was what the average family spends on Christmas gifts. And for 2013, that was $801. So in total gift giving only, just gifts, it was $801. But we all know that we spend more money on Christmas than just gifts. We have like a decor, a dinner, and everything else in between. So for our Grateful family, we're going to come up with a preliminary budget, their entire Christmas budget to include everything. We're going to set the preliminary one at $1,200. Okay, there are 4 main categories of a Christmas budget. And those categories are decor, gifts, tradition, and food. Everything that you spend your money on is going to be able to fit into one of these buckets. Okay, so let's build a budget for our Gratefulness family. This here right here is our budget summary. This summarizes everything that's going to go into the budget. And so this first item up here is a budget. And we're going to put in our $1,200 because that's the preliminary amount that we budgeted for this family. Spending today, it just actually calculates all of the spending that we've done to date and tallies it here to let me know what amount I have left to spend. If I overspend, this will turn into a red negative number. This section down here just kind of summarizes each of the categories that are going to be detailed out in the other sheets. So we'll come back to this budget summary and look at it a little bit further once we've actually completed the items in our budget. So let's move on over to Christmas decor. In our Christmas decor section, I just basically have two columns, one that says current season decor and off-season decor. Current season decor is usually going to be fairly small because you're just going to put things in there that you cannot buy off-season, like fresh flowers, or if you're going to do an arrangement, or if you run out of tape, or something just small and random. Because most of the time, what I think people forget to do, and what I want you to get out of this decor section, is that buy your decor off season. So budget into the current year's budget to buy things off season, so that way you can take advantage of the sales. So if you've seen any of my haul videos when I'm doing fall and winter hauls, that's because I'm picking up the sales in off season. So that's what you would just put in here. Now if you're new to Christmas, or just now having your first Christmas, you would go ahead and list Christmas tree ornaments, everything like that, and then just put in what it's going to cost you, how many, and then don't forget the tax, and that will give you a good picture of your budget for decor. So you enter in your decor, and for this family we're going to have $75 worth of decor. Then in food, your food budget, this should definitely be a detailed grocery list. Just for purposes of this example, we just put in the categories. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it's $20 for every single category, just to save time. And you have that here. So in your food, you're just going to go pull your recipes, figure out the ingredients, and write a detailed grocery list to kind of come up with what your food budget would be. And you can look at this, and then you'll come down to a total, and that's what you would have there. Then in your festivities and traditions, you want to make sure that you go ahead and include anything that you might do that's related to Christmas that's a festivity or a tradition. Do you buy new pajamas each year? Do you have a movie night? Anything like that. You want to make sure you include any Christmas parties that you're attending, whether it's an office party or a neighborhood party. Your school's kids' Christmas parties, do they do anything for that? And then so on and so forth. So just put down everything that you might do. And another area is Christmas clothing and grooming. Are you buying any new Christmas dresses or suits or anything like that for a Christmas picture or a party? Make sure you include that. And then also Christmas travel. Do you have to travel to a relative's house for Christmas, or are you staying home for Christmas but the day after Christmas you go on vacation? If you haven't budgeted for Christmas travel in your vacation section of your budget, put it here. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in some numbers for our grateful family, and we'll just put some fake numbers in there for that. So for our grateful family, after inputting all the things that they needed, they realized that they're going to need $259 for their Christmas traditions and festivities. Now moving right along to gifts. Again, gifts is a large category, so they're divided up into four broad categories: immediate family, extended family, kids' Christmas list, and other. Basically, immediate family is just that, everyone that lives in your household. If you're divorced, then you would include your children and stepchildren that are living with you or living with the other spouse. Extended family would include like your parents and nieces and nephews. Kids' Christmas list, if your child doesn't budget for their own Christmas list, you would include this here, because I know many people give their children money to go out and buy their own gifts. For purposes, our kids usually buy the mom and dad, their grandparents. They get to choose one best friend and exchange gifts with each other. But if they're managing their own budget, you wouldn't have this line item. And then other would be for everything else and anything else that you buy gifts for. Churches, teachers, what have you, your landscaper, mailman. But what I want you to remember in other is to make sure that you put in something for off-season shopping. Again, you want to have enough money to catch those sales after Christmas ends. So I'm going to go ahead and put in some numbers for this family, and we're going to just really dive into and focus really on how to build a child's budget. So after inputting all the variables into the different sections of the budget, we realized that we had come up with a total gift budget of $1,310. Now let's move on over to how we build a kid's Christmas list. So this is the Christmas list that I received from my daughter. It is written in priority order and with a price tag next to it. She even leaves a cute little note that says, "I know that this is a lot, but you always know how to make something out of nothing. Really? Make nothing out of $2,569? And she also adds, "You always say a closed mouth doesn't get fed, so I'm just opening my mouth. I don't panic. This is what I do." So after looking at my child's handwritten budget, I input everything into my children's budget portion analyzer. And in here, I just basically put the item, how much it cost, any adjustments that I need to make to it, and what I'm willing to pay for it. I also look at if it's a want or a need, and then who's going to buy it. So I'm going to give you three ways that you can get large ticket items for your child. So her first item is a Beats noise canceling headphone. For you guys that don't know what Beats are, those are designer headphones made by Dr. Dre. They cost $229. I first asked, is this a want or need? And this is actually both. But she's like, I'm going off to college. I need to have, quiet and silence in a room. So I need to get these noise canceling headphones. I'm like, okay, you do need noise canceling headphones, but maybe not Beats. I am willing to pay $50 for some noise canceling headphones. So we need to come up with a way, how can we get these Beats? So we'll look on Craigslist, we'll look in, all different places, scour, and then I'll just give her an option. Hey, look, I'm willing to pay X amount. If you still really want these, then you would go ahead and have to put in your money for the rest. The last thing you want to do is buy a teenager something that you think they should have with your cost and they don't use it. You're wasting money because you're not going to be the headphone police and go around and monitor to make sure that they're wearing them. So then at this point the child will decide whether or not, do I want to spend my money on these headphones or do I want to take what my parent is giving me? And so in this case, my child said, you know what, Mom, can I counter offer? Could we just try to sell the pair of Beats headphones that I currently have, match it with what you're going to put in, and see if I can get a new pair? I'm like, you know what? And she's like, and if I can't, I'll just take the ones that you're going to give me, and I'll keep my Beats that I already have, and I'll have both. I'll have my designer pair and a canceling pair. And that's how you solve that. So first way, parent and child purchase the gift. Second way is a collective gift. The next one was an Apple MacBook. She's going off to college. She needs a computer, and we've agreed as a family that that is a need. So what we do is anyone that asks us what do they want for Christmas, we just say we want a collective gift. If you can contribute towards this computer, that would be great. So let's say they contribute towards a computer and we have 5 people contributing. We divide it up and we realize that, we only have to pay $225 towards this $1,100 gift. Great. So then you get down to your iPhone. Well, it's just, we don't buy phones in this house. Whatever phone comes free with the contract is what you're going to get. If our child wants something other than the free phone, then it's on them to purchase that with their own money. So in this case, that iPhone is a want, not a need. So that will be something our child would have to purchase if they should want it. And then we go on down, riding boots. There was 150, but we found some, the one she wanted on sale, and so that was a want and we were able to get that. Another thing you need to remember is that you're not going to buy everything yourself that's on their list. Friends and family will offer to buy gifts, so that's why it's good to have a list ahead of time, so when they ask what they want, you can tell them and then they can pick those items up. So you'll just choose items that are budget friendly, like makeup, gas cards, costume jewelry. We're going to push that all off to friends and family. And then the total that used to be $2,569 has now dwindled down to $425, which is a lot more manageable. And then here I have my parents list. This is a list that I put together, and it's basically all the things that I know my child needs as opposed to want, but they're not going to put on their list. So I just write down what they need, and if they don't need it immediately, it'll wait till Christmas time, and those are the things that I'll pick up. Finally, at the end, I will tally up the child's subtotal and our subtotal to come up with a final total of what should go in our gift column for child number 1. Now, if we come back to our gifts page, you will see that's where that $550 came in from child number 1 after analyzing and pulling together their Christmas list and our Christmas list. Here's some tips for kids' gift budget. You do not have to have equal budget amounts. You do not have to say, okay, I have 2 kids and I have to spend $250 per kid. No, you want to base your budgets for your children their needs and their wants. Each child's need is going to be different from year to year. It's going to vary. For example, in our Grateful family, one child is going to college this year. So her needs are going to be totally different than the child that's not going to college. So make sure you handle their needs, and then also make sure you get them what they want. Some children may want simpler gifts, and some children may want something that's a little bit more expensive. But at the end of the day, children are going to be happy if they get what they want. So don't try to match everything up. And when they're older, you can explain that to them and they will perfectly, understand perfectly. And then also, finally, as a parent, you do not have to get your children everything that they want. Make them purchase some of their own wants, and that will teach them responsibility, and you will quickly see what they really want.
So the next step is to go back over to your budget summary and see how everything pans out. So now I'm looking over here at my budget summary and I see that, wow, after I inputted all that stuff, my budget is really reflecting $1,835. But I originally only put in $1,200 as a preliminary amount. I'm $635 over budget. I have to figure out how to either A, get back down to $1,200, or either B, increase my budget to match the 1835, or a combination of the both. So here are my options. I can scour through my budget and try to reduce it to get it back down to $1,200. That's option one. Option two, I can increase my budget to, a higher number, but then I have to make sure that I go back and account for it and take something else out of my main budget. Or option number three, I can increase the budget and figure out a way to earn more money throughout the year, and so I won't have to take away from something else. Or number four, you can do a combination of all three of the above. And I think this family is going to do a combination of this three above. They're going to go in and look to say, okay, could we do without this? And that's where your goals come in. You try to go back and eliminate certain things, but then you also match them up to those goals we set to make sure that you're actually getting the Christmas that you want. And let's say at the end of the day, we were able to cut our cost down to, our gift giving. We were able to get that down quite a bit. We were able to cut out $300 worth of gift giving. So we were still over budget by $335. So we said, you know what, we're going to go ahead and increase our budget by $335, because if we just keep reducing it, it's going to be pointless, because we know that we're not going to get it down, to that far, and then we're just going to end up with a negative amount and say we overspent on our budget. So we're going to increase our budget now to $1,535. And when we look at the check down here, our check is zero, so we're in budget and we're in alignment. And so now we can say, okay, $1,535 is a good budget for for the Grateful family, and we're going to work off of that. And so that's how you budget. So that's what we're going to do. And then I want to show you how the actual piece works. So as you go out and you start buying things for Christmas, you get stuff, and I'm just inputting some numbers just so you can get an illustration. And you see now, as I'm putting money in the actual column, my spending to date is going here, and it's letting me know how much I have left to spend. Now let's say, for example, I get down to gifts and I end up spending $1,000. It now goes to red to let me know that, hey, you're over budget. You've done spent $1,600 and you've only budgeted $1,535. Stop and take a look at everything. And so that's how, Very Carey puts together her budgeting process, and this truly allows me to think and strategize and come up with things to make sure that I meet my goals.
Now that we have our budget and everything's done, how do we save for Christmas? A lot of time you'll hear people saying just figure out what the total amount is, divide by 12, and save that much each month. I like to go a step further, because you can run into trouble if you do it that way. Think about it as like, purchasing a car or a large purchase or a home. Put in a large upfront down payment. And the reason you want to do that is because you want to take advantage of all those Christmas sales right after Christmas and get the best deals. But you want to make sure that you have money to do that. So you're going to need more money up front to take advantage of the deals after Christmas and than you would later on in the year. So, for example, if your budget is $1,200, I would try to, in January, when I set up my budget, make sure I put away as much as I can for Christmas. So, if I could put away $500, put away $500 for that month, and then take the rest, the remaining $700, and split that over 11 months. And, that way you would only be saving, $70 or so per month as opposed to the $100 a month. If you can't do that much in the first month of January, try to do as much as you can in January and February. Maybe 250 January, 250 in February. The key is to remember as much as I can save up front, so I'll have money to take advantage of the sales. That's the goal. So after you've established how and when you're going to save your money, where do I save it? What do I do? You can use the cash method, but the cash or envelope method where you just take out money each month and put it in an envelope and use it as you go. I really don't prefer that because I don't like to carry a lot of cash, nor do I like to keep a lot of cash in my home. I like to use what's called the DIY prepaid credit card method. If you would like me to do a detailed video on how this works, I can do that. But in a nutshell, basically what I do is go on my online banking account and set up 12 payments to automatically be paid to a card that's specifically for Christmas, Christmas dealings. And so each month, my bank will just automatically pay that credit card. My credit card will have a negative balance, and that means I actually have cash to spend. So when I need to purchase something, I just go out and buy it. I don't have to worry about writing a check at the end of the month because I don't owe a credit card bill. I'm just really eating off of that credit each month. In closing, I want to thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment if you like this type of video. Share this video with anyone that you think it will be useful for. And thumbs up this video if you liked it. And finally, like me on Facebook. And again, I hope you guys have a happy holiday planning season. And until next time, I will keep calm and carry on.